Hello, sports fans, sports bettors, and YouTube world. John here with Ricket Picks again. I'm going to talk a little NFL fantasy football for tomorrow. Give you some names, some guys you might think about, some guys you might look at, some games that are supposed to be high scoring, lots of yards, lots of touchdowns, lots of fantasy points. I'm going to go in by positions, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, defenses. Going to start with quarterbacks. Top two quarterbacks for tomorrow expected to be in the same game, Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Both defenses have huge holes, injuries, and question marks. Patrick Mahomes has Sammy Watkins, who's going to line up in the slot against a backup defensive back. They're going to have a huge day. The Baltimore Ravens can't focus on Sammy Watkins because of Demarcus Robinson, and if Darian Williams is healthy, he will also be a factor in that game. So there's lots of offensive weapons for Patrick Mahomes. Lamar Jackson, on the other side of the ball, has weapons of his own. He also can run. He is not afraid to take off and run. He will run the ball for 100 yards. He'll throw the ball for 200 yards. He'll throw the ball for 300 yards. He'll run for 200. You don't know what you're going to get. If it ain't there, he's going to take off on his feet, and he's fast. Also, racking up them points every time he takes off. 10 yards is 1 point. 10 yards passing is only half a point. Running quarterbacks are good. Josh Allen is going to be another solid play against the Bengals. He has started off slow and picked up some steam last week. And this week against the Bengals, whose defense is also a little on the questionable side, he should throw for a couple touchdowns and probably run for a couple touchdowns. He's also a scrambling quarterback, and running quarterbacks have proven to put up fantasy points and be of very good fantasy value. Dak Prescott, Cowboys, they're playing the Miami Dolphins. Everybody knows about the Miami Dolphins debacle and the situation that they are in. It's sad to see as an NFL competitive standpoint, but it's there. It's very real. A lot of people are concerned that the Cowboys will not see a lot of playing time, the starters, as they'll be probably exiting the game in the third quarter. This is still the NFL. One can assume that, and it's probably going to happen, but it may not. Miami's defense isn't very good. I expect Dax and Amari Cooper to hook up quite a bit. Ezekiel Elliott's going to get the ball a lot on the ground to soften the cap, the high ceiling for Dax and Amari Cooper and all the other receivers for the Cowboys. So, but he is still a solid play. He's going to be a solid play. If you have him, start him. Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is going up against the Panthers. The Panthers used to have a pretty solid defense. It used to be like, they're playing the Panthers. I really don't want to start somebody against them. This year it's been okay. He's going to have a good game. He's got a couple of receivers that are fast, and he's got a arm. He can out-throw the coverage almost when he wants. What they're capable of doing is scary for some teams. Kyler Murray is probably going to hook up with Christian Kirk a couple times deep for some solid fantasy values. Kyler Murray also not scared to take off on his feet and run. Probably the sleeper of the day is going to be Jameis Winston, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback, going up against the Giants. The Giants have the worst passing defense in the NFL. If you have a quarterback coming in there that knows how to throw a football, he's going to rack up some yardage points and touchdowns against the Giants. Sorry, Giants fans. It's just the truth. Jameis Winston, he has only averaged roughly 9-10 points a game this year. He will throw an interception. You can almost put money on that, count on it. He likes to throw the ball to the other team, sometimes often. But in this game, I think that him and Goodwin are going to hook up quite often and quite a bit, and O.J. Howard also. You'll see they're one of my receiver and tight end picks. But look for Jameis Winston to have a pretty solid fantasy day. Good value there if you're playing in the DraftKings or FanDuel or whatever those things are that I also can't do. Tom Brady versus the Jets. This is an interesting one. At some point in time, New England's going to show up as they do against one team and just lay an egg. I don't know that it'll be this game. New England's defense is far cry from what it was last year. They're very good. And they're going to, I believe, give the offense some resurgence. So even if the offense falters, where in the past when the offense faltered, they lost the game. And now the offense can falter. They might win the game. Probably will win the game. But Tom Brady's going to hook up. No more Antonio Brown, but I think that was just a headache for all of them there anyways. You enjoy having strong, solid, good football players on your team. But if they come with off-the-field problems, you don't want that. You don't want any distractions. You just want to go out and take care of business. That's what the Patriots and Tom Brady are all about. Expect all three receivers that they have to have pretty decent games, and Tom Brady to have a solid showing. Aaron Rodgers going up against the Denver Broncos. Rodgers this year has been kind of a fantasy dud. I hate to say that with my flag and my hat that I'm wearing, but it's the truth. He's been kind of a fantasy dud. He usually can find receivers and stuff down the field, and I don't know how much of it's him getting used to the new offense or them running the ball more or what the combination of it is. They're going up against a Denver team that, as of late, has shown signs of actually being a football team. Also good to see for competitive standpoints. I do expect Aaron Rodgers to have a solid, decent day against the Denver Broncos defense. So he's a good pick. My last quarterback is Kirk Cousins. I know a lot of people are like, Kirk Cousins? Why are you even talking about him? They're playing the Raiders, and Kirk Cousins can throw for 400 yards. We've seen it several times. Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen. He's going to start finding those guys. They're going to start getting open, and I think this is a game that he, comes through a little bit. I don't know that he's going to have a huge game. Oakland's got a pretty solid defense-ish, but they are going to throw a lot of mixes at him. John Gruden's going to have something in his bag of tricks for the Minnesota Vikings. But I do believe Kirk Cousins is going to start finding a little bit of a groove this week. So we're going to move on to running backs now. Top running back is Ezekiel Elliott for me. Dallas Cowboys. Sorry, Giants fans. I know Saquon Barkley's really good. He's my number 2. But Zeke, Miami's defense is just a debacle. Miami's a debacle, period. But Zeke Elliott's going to have himself a day. He's going to rush for over 100 yards. He's going to have touchdowns. He's probably, if I had to pick somebody to be the number 1 scoring fantasy guy for tomorrow, it'd be Zeke Elliott. Saquon Barkley is going to be right behind him going up against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have a little bit of a resurgence in them this year. They'll play defense at times, but they will still give up some yards. Saquon Barkley can catch the ball. He can run the ball. He's going to have a decent day. Third running back I would suggest is Christian McCaffrey. I don't think it matters who their quarterback is. It doesn't stop the fact that he can run the ball. The offensive line is going to block for him, and he's going to be there for the swing pass. He's going to be available to catch the ball for whoever the quarterback is. I believe Cam Newton will probably play. He's just that kind of a guy. Don't blame him. Walking boot or not, just put the walking boot on me. I'm going out there. You can't fault the guy for that. But Christian McCaffrey is going to have a decent fantasy day. Dalvin Cook for the Minnesota Vikings. Just talked about Kirk Cousins. Dalvin Cook's going to help him out. He's going to have a pretty decent day against Oakland and open up the passing game for Kirk Cousins. So expect him to have a good day. Marlon Mack, if he plays, right now he's questionable. Keep your eye on him. If he plays, he's going to be able to run the ball against Atlanta. Atlanta is vulnerable to giving up yards on the ground. Another guy, Aaron Jones for the Packers. I know he's not in there all the time. They got a couple different running backs, and he likes to they like to mix it up. But Aaron Jones is still going to touch the ball 25 times, whether he's passing, running, doesn't matter. Whatever is going to happen, he's going to get the ball. So expect him to put up some points. Darian Williams, again, check your charts and their injury report. Make sure this kid is playing. If he's playing against Baltimore with Patrick Mahomes and Demarcus Robinson and all of the weapons they have, he's just going to be another one in that arsenal. And that game's going to have a lot of points scored in it and a lot of fantasy points scored. Julio Jones is my first receiver. They're going up against the Indianapolis Colts. He's, stud every week. He's going to be a stud every single week. He's going to catch the ball. One of Matt Ryan's favorite targets, him and Calvin Ridley. I think they're going to favor Julio Jones. He's going to be able to get open against this Colts defense. Second wide receiver is Chris Goodwin. They're going up against the Giants. Again, Giants' worst pass defense in the NFL. Apologize, everybody. I got a text message. So Chris Goodwin's going to have 8, 9, 10 targets, probably 6, 7, 8 catches, lots of yards. Another fantasy sleeper and giant is Sammy Watkins. He's going up against Baltimore. They have a backup cornerback that's going to be playing lined up against him. Possibly a rookie, maybe not. Sammy Watkins will be in the slot probably. And with all the attention you got to give to the other guys, Sammy Watkins is going to have a huge day. Mike Evans, the other Tampa Bay receiver. Giants, worst pass defense in the NFL. And here's Grayson making a grand entrance. Everybody say hi, Grayson. So Mike Evans, he is going to have a good day too with Jameis Winston. That's why he's one of my quarterbacks. He's got two great receivers. They're going to have great days. Another guy that's going to be good is Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk, they're going up against the Panthers. And Kyler Murray can throw the ball, and Christian Kirk is fast. So expect him to have 7 or 8 targets. Kyler Murray's starting to favor him as one of his favorites. When quarterbacks and receivers get on the same page together, they are dangerous together. Another guy that's a sleeper that's going to have a great day is Will Fuller the fifth. Fuller, they're going up against the Chargers. Texans, Chargers. Fuller is going to get the ball from Hopkins. Obviously, you got Deshaun Watson throwing him the ball. I think Fuller's going to be the sleeper. They'll be able to shut down part of their passing game, but not all of it. And I think Fuller's going to benefit from that. Devontae Adams. Packers, what's up? Going up against the Broncos. He's going to see some targets. So it's one of Aaron Rodgers' favorite guys to throw the football to. The back shoulder throw, they've got it down. Devontae Adams, expect both of them to wake up and have a stellar day. My last wide receiver to mention is Amari Cooper. Again, they're going up against Miami. Miami's defense is a debacle. Dax and Amari have been great together since Amari Cooper showed up. Expect them to have a good day. As always, or as suspected, they'll probably be done playing football through the third quarter or at the end of the fourth quarter, whatever. It'll just be garbage time by then, so it won't matter. But moving on to tight ends, got a few of them. There's not a lot of great tight ends this week, but one of my favorites is O.J. Howard. Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Giants' worst passing defense. To me, that's a no-brainer. Jameis Winston, O.J. Howard's got ability. The man can catch the ball, he can move, he can block. He's the real deal when it comes to tight ends, especially pass-catching tight ends. He reminds me of Travis Kelce. Zach Ertz, number 2, against the Lions. Obviously, Zach Ertz has been a fantasy stud for years. He will continue that against the Lions. They're here and there with their defense. They're here and there with their offense. I expect that to actually be a really good game. My third sleeper kind of is Darren Waller for the Oakland Athletics going up against Minnesota. Minnesota's going to lock down their receivers on the outside, and Carr's going to be forced to dump it off to Darren Waller, but he'll be there. He's He's proven he's stepped in for Jared Cook very well. Ow. Stepped in for Jared Cook very well. And, expect him to get some points and some catches. Sorry, my cat just bit me. He doesn't like Darren Waller, apparently. He said, no, Dad, no Darren Waller. Travis Kelce for Baltimore, or for the Chiefs going up against Baltimore. Again, that game's going to have a lot of points and a lot of fantasy points scored in it. Travis Kelce's one of Mahomes' favorite targets with all the receivers that he's got. Expect Kelce to be wide open down the middle several times. Jimmy Graham. Moving on. Jimmy Graham for the Green Bay Packers against the Denver Broncos. Aaron Rodgers likes tight ends. He likes to find tight ends in the end zone. And he's kind of gotten off kilter a little bit with his passing and his tight ends. But I do expect Jimmy Graham to catch at least one touchdown and maybe 4 or 5 passes in this game. Austin Hooper for the Atlanta Falcons going up against the Indianapolis Colts. Again, one of Matt Ryan's favorite targets is Austin Hooper. It's Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Austin Hooper. He's a tight end. He's got skills. Doesn't play every single down, but he plays a lot. So expect him to have 4 or 5 catches again. Don't know if he gets in the end zone, but he is one of the favorite targets when they get down there close. Moving on to defenses. Anytime you get a defense, if they get a sack or interception or something, you've done good as long as they don't give up 45 points. With that being said, don't take Baltimore's defense or the Chiefs' defense. They're both going to give up 40 points, maybe. At least 35 each. My defenses this week, number 1 is the Patriots versus the Jets. New England Patriots playing the New York Football Jets. Patriots are going to have sacks. Their defense is getting after it this year. They're going to pick off. They're going to have interceptions, sacks. They may return a few. They got a good return game. So that I expect them to put up a lot of points. Number 2 is the Cowboys against the Dolphins. I mean, kind of a no-brainer. Dolphins, they're bad on defense. They're bad on offense. And I expect the Cowboys to do exactly what they did last week and just their defense to go create or do what the Patriots defense did to the Dolphins, and Dallas' defense just go crazy. Third defense is the Seahawks versus the Saints. Teddy Bridgewater, backup quarterback for the Saints. Alvin Kamara. Running backs usually don't have a good time in Seattle. If you're a running back, you probably don't look forward to going to Seattle and playing there. It's noisy, a lot of false start penalties. The Seahawks typically shut down a run game. Jared Cook is the tight end for the Saints, and the Seahawks give up the most fantasy points to the tight ends, I think, ever. If you're a tight end, you have a really good day against Seattle. I just stay away from Jared Cook because of Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know. The guy's an NFL quarterback, but he hasn't played for a while, and he might be a little rusty. And going up against the Seahawks, it could get ugly for him pretty quick. My fourth defense is the resurgence of the Packers defense. After the first couple games, Aaron Rodgers was like, let's not talk about the offense, let's talk about the defense. Because they have one. Same thing with Tom Brady. He's like, yeah, our offense didn't look that great, but our defense was awesome. They're playing the Denver Broncos. Expect their defense to put up some points. Anyways, if you guys have any questions about who you should start versus who you shouldn't, players, defenses, hey, I got these 3 guys and I can only start 2 of them. Drop me a line. I'd be glad to help you out best I can with my knowledge, give you my thoughts and insight. If you liked this content, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Hit me up with some questions. Happy sports watching. If you have a fantasy team, good luck. I hope you guys win. Unless you're playing me, then I hope you don't win. But anyways, have a great Sunday, and I'll talk to you all later.